In recent months, the Americans engaged in fierce debate on how the U.S. government should conduct itself both internally and around the world. According to many Americans, the term deep state refers to a hidden network of unelected government officials, intelligence agencies, bureaucrats, and influential elites who allegedly work behind the scenes to undermine elected officials, particularly Donald Trump and his allies. They believe this network operates independently of democratic oversight and is aligned with globalist interests, the mainstream media, and the Democratic Party. Many believe the deep state played a role in rigging the 2020 election against Trump, often citing mail-in ballots, voter fraud, and big tech censorship. In addition, organizations like the World Economic Forum, George Soros-funded groups, and multinational corporations are often linked to the deep state, accused of trying to push a globalist, socialist, or authoritarian agenda. How does this connect with India and Bangladesh? After the ouster of Indian-backed Bangladeshi dictator Sheikh Hasina, the Indian media started floating the idea that U.S. deep state assisted in the ouster of Hasina. When Indian PM Modi visited U.S. after the Trump got elected, Modi-aligned journalists asked Trump during a Q&A session whether U.S. deep state was involved in Hasina's ouster.
And Mr. President, what you would like to say about the Bangladesh issue, because we saw and it is evident that how the deep state of United States was involved to regime change. So what is your point of view about the Bangladesh?
Which President Trump denied. It was evident that India assisted in the foreign policy strategy of the Hasina regime while she was in power and continues to do so now after she has been deposed. Indian media disinformation runs in parallel with content produced by Hasina's party Bangladesh Awami League, aiming to undermine the current interim government of Professor Yunus. During Hasina's tenure, it was widely circulated that the U.S. wanted to make a naval base in Bangladesh's St. Martin's Island, and Hasina said no to that request, drawing ire from the U.S. deep state. These claims have no evidence, and Hasina positioned herself as anti-imperial to gain support from the general public, to counter the accusation of being Indian puppet. As Trump administration's scaling down of USAID funding aims to reduce U.S. global outreach, Indian media try to tie USAID funding with the ouster of Hasina. They echoed the sentiments of deep state conspiracy theorists like Mike Benz, who alleged that USAID fundings to Bangladesh was used for the ouster of Hasina. With regards to the deep state globalist agenda and connection to elites, the Modi-aligned journalist also asked Trump about George Soros meeting with Professor Yunus, implying Soros was somehow involved in the ouster of Hasina. Soros openly criticized Modi and Adani of fraud and stock manipulation, drawing ire from both Indian state as well as Indian media. Gautam Adani, the Indian billionaire convicted of bribery in New York and fraud, had established deep ties with the Hasina regime to gain favorable deals. See electricity export deal with BD, charging BD the highest rate of 14 TK per unit compared to 8 TK average price, and subsequent blackmailing of power supply. Suffice to say, Modi and Adani have a bone of contention with George Soros, specifically with regards to media visibility of these shady deals, as well as the bribery and fraud conviction of Adani. It is clear that the Indian media and the Modi government are attempting to link Bangladesh to the contentious American political divide concerning the deep state. Their likely aim is to stir negative sentiment within the Trump administration and the broader American public, particularly among Indian Americans. Ultimately, this appears to be an effort to discredit the current Bangladeshi interim government led by Professor Yunus, potentially paving the way for Hasina's return to power. In addition, India is a leader in spreading disinformation across the world, and one wonders what level of detrimental impact this phenomenon will have both around the world and within India if this continues.